I grew up in the South Bronx with my grandfather and my mom in a one-bedroom apartment as an only child. So there was no privacy, no need for any privacy, and I always felt like I was safe even when I didn't want to be. So when I moved uptown in the Bronx, where I had my own room, my mom was focused on the fact she was having a baby. We were living with my stepfather. There was so much room for privacy that there was so much room for exploration. And I guess in the middle of that exploration, I found myself. I found things about myself that I didn't like, and some things found me. When I was 12 years old, I was a victim of sexual violence. And it really confused me about what sex was supposed to be, what a relationship is supposed to be, what type of respect a guy should have for a female. And it was very hard for me to cope with. It made me paranoid of guys. It made me not trust people. To this day, I have problems trusting people. So some parts of it make me feel like I'm safer because I always have an eye out on what's going on around me. Other part is like, will I ever have a healthy relationship? Will I ever be able to really trust somebody 100%? Will I ever let my guard down with people? Sex resounds in volumes, high or low, distinct or muffled, clothes ruffle as the couple scuffle. Sex resounds in volumes. What is sex supposed to be like between two people?
Sex between two people should be something that is special. It's as if you're creating a bond between your two. It's like you're giving a piece of yourself to one another, and it should be something that only you and that person should share.
Sex between two people should be really passionate. It should be really intenseful, but not too intense to the point where it's forced.
Playful or dangerous, there is volume. From buttons sinking out of buttonholes to zippers buzzing, panties pulling, socks tugging. The first one's always the easiest.
I think the way you lose your virginity or the person you lose your virginity to changes how you view sex or how you view the person you decide to have sex with.
The first one's always the easiest when it's done right, and when it's done right is never the feeling. It's never what you expected. Sometimes it's what you never expected, but it is never silent. It's funny because when I'm interviewing teenagers about what sex should be like, they're all like, oh, sex should be passionate, sex should be romantic, sex should be full of love. But when I'm talking to teenagers about sex, it's,
if I see you and I like you and you like me back and I want to fuck you and you're okay with it, what's the problem? I don't have to love you to fuck you.
Finding someone that you love to get intimate with is not that easy all the time. So, as a plan B, you find someone that you're sexually compatible with and you get busy.
sometimes violent, but it shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be too rough, and it shouldn't hurt too much. And if you're second guessing how ready you are, then you've already gone too far. Sex is possibility. It is possible that sex is making love or casually sexing or romantically flexing, but it is possible that sex is not always mutual.
Rape isn't sex. It never has been, it never will be. It's power. It's about taking somebody's power. And that's the bottom line of it.
I'm very lucky to never have been a victim of sexual violence, but statistics say that I think, I'm not going to say, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say it, but a lot of girls have been raped. And like 1 in 4 will be sexually assaulted, but by the time they're 18. So I think about it, like I've met most of my friends have stories of them being sexually harassed, and I pray to God every day that I'm not one of those people.
I've known a lot, like a couple people who've been a victim of sexual abuse.
I know a few people who have been victims of sexual violence.
It is possible that there is a kind of sex that reaches unthinkable volumes. The shredding of skin under fingernails, the swishes of missed punches, the screams that die into whispers and whimpers, and the shaking of fingers against a bed you'll never forget.
I had an ex named Kendra, and there was a time when she kept telling me, she wanted to go see these boys or whatever. They're not gonna do nothing, this and that. I just be like, yo, are you sure? Cause I don't want nothing happening to you. She said, yeah. So I trusted her. She went. Then like around 3 o'clock in the morning, she calls me, like, where are you? Are you home? I'm scared. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I'm coming. Just hold on. When she came, she had like bruises and things like that. I was like, what's wrong? You got into a fight? She was like, no. I don't know how to tell you this, but I got. And then I was like, what happened? She kept crying. She was like, I got raped.
The stereotypical rapist today is a guy that's probably in full black, some stranger that you've never met in your life, who's in a dark alley when you're coming from a party just ready to rape you, who's had this planned out for months. And I don't agree that that's the rapist that we, as females, as guys, see today. Rapists go from moms and dads to sisters and brothers, uncles and cousins. They're people that we know, people that we let into our lives, people that we let get close to us, people that know things about us, know our weaknesses, know what type of people won't say what happened, and know what type of people will keep it in the dark. They're people who know us. They're not strangers. And most women who get raped and most guys who get raped know who their rapists are, but they just don't talk about it because they're embarrassed, and it makes it more embarrassing that it was someone you knew. Why do you think victims are so afraid to talk about this to like authorities, cops, close friends, or family members?
I think most victims are afraid to talk about it with most people because it's kind of embarrassing, or they don't want their business to be out there like that. It's a pretty sensitive issue.
Honestly speaking, police officers don't know how to speak to people. They're gonna be like, the first question that they're gonna ask you is, what were you wearing? Oh, a short skirt? Well, there you go. You were asking for it.
It was just embarrassing. It was embarrassing admitting it to myself. It was embarrassing telling my cousin's boyfriend. It was embarrassing telling it to God. It was embarrassing telling it to my mom when she asked where I had been. She called my school and they said I wasn't there all day. And she was just looking for me, going crazy. Like, the whole thing was embarrassing. And the way my mom handled it was not like, okay, let's talk about what happened. It's like, no, we're going to the hospital right now and you're gonna get this checked out and you're gonna tell cops what happened. I don't care what you wanna do. This is about what needs to be done. And I agree that it is important for you to tell someone, but it's important for you to tell someone in your own time.
Nobody wants to hear all the things that they did wrong when something was done wrong to them. You want people to recognize that more than the thing that you did wrong. Because obviously, okay, I went to a party. That's not as big a deal as me getting raped.
Just because you put yourself in a bad situation does not mean that it's your fault. Sometimes we just don't make the best decisions because we're only human and we can't see into tomorrow. And when it's over, the volume is sucked into the sides of your head, playing over and over again, each time louder than the last.
I had an ex-girlfriend who was sexually harassed by me. She was forced to have sex with her stepfather. And you could tell, because like emotionally she was unstable. Like she couldn't trust anybody. Like that was the downfall of our relationship. I think like what happened to her, it makes it hard to build like relationships with other people. So me and her, even though everything was fine, she could just never get past that emotional barrier. So it messed up like the way we communicate, and like I was even scared to bring up sex and stuff like that. So
my friend was a guy. He was sexually assaulted when he was younger. His cousin, who's a male, came home, and his uncle, I don't know, it was his cousin, a family member, and he told them to give him oral sex. And to this day, this kid is confused. He's gay now. He's come up the closet. Everyone knows he's gay, but he has this internal struggle with himself. Like, does he know? Is he gay because he was sexually assaulted? Is he gay by nature? Because it is a genetic thing, but he doesn't know whether it's determined his sexuality, the rape, or his natural.
Let's say if you were to like be molested, and later on in life, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and like what I've heard and known from other people that I knew were molested and shit, they seek to like find the same type of action. They find the negative.
I think that was just the hardest year of my life. I remember my 13th birthday, I was crying under sheets. And basically, I was just trying to like sleep myself into dying. And my mom was like, you can't just lay there all day. You have to get up and do something. And I'm like, no, I just want to die. I just don't want to be here right now. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to think about this. I just want to be over it. There's like no point for me to exist anymore. I felt dirty, and I just felt nasty, and I didn't want to be in my skin anymore. And how can I explain to you how it feels to not want to be in your body? Like those boys that day took something from me. Maybe the volume in your head makes it hard to voice your own, and it's hard to get the phone just to say, officer, he raped me. Best friend, I'm scared. Mom, I don't feel okay. Reflection, but I'm here. Underneath my fingernails, the skin, and the tears I'm sinking in might suck me in if I don't keep my head up. Don't want to drown, but between my toes is air, and underneath my back is ground. Can you hear me? I have been to hell's basement. Never felt somewhere so vacant till I had nobody else and had to look inside myself. I swear the pain hurt so bad I cannot scream. Like the vocals down my throat have been scraped razor blade clean. Can you feel me as the goosebumps turn my soft skin rigid? I don't know if I'm dead or living. I feel the blood in my veins giving up, yo. I cannot give enough passion to this poem. I was trying to find a phone, but the pen was closer, and I'm so over advice from people who can only empathize. I have his last words memorized, and I promised myself they'd stay between us. May God redeem us for the trouble we've caused ourselves. I think we lost ourselves, but we've caused ourselves a lot of hurt. My hand shook all the way home throughout the panties and the skirt. Last night I dreamt it happened again, and my wrists were hand locked fastened again. Flashback so deep I thought I was trapped there again. But I woke up failing, and I can fail me. So God, please heal me. I want these memories to end.